So something I did not expect to happen this year. Well, I didn't expect it to happen at all. Actually, Alec Baldwin has been indicted on manslaughter charges in the Rush shooting. 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Wow, quite shocking actually. This has been going on for a really long time. I've covered it a really long time. It's been crazy. It's been a really up, down, topsy-turny, round and round journey. And it seemed to, take a bit of a bizarre turn when he did that interview and he claimed that he didn't pull the trigger, but then the FBI said, no, you absolutely, the gun wouldn't have gone off without the trigger being pulled. And then for some bizarre reason, the evidence was damaged and it had to be it's all over the place. This whole thing is all over the place. Basically, if you don't know, Alec Baldwin shot someone and killed him on a movie set last year. So, no, 2 years ago now. 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago. 2021. That's what I mean. It's been going on for ages. So he shot someone, killed someone. It's a cinematographer. And look, did he mean to do it? No, of course not. Absolutely. I highly doubt he meant to do it. I don't know, but I highly doubt it. But it had been going on for a really long time. He refused to give his phone up at one point. So they had a warrant out for his phone. And he just refused. So that they had to sort of forcibly get it. They had a warrant in a certain state and they had to force it into another. It's just a nightmare. This whole thing's been a nightmare. But now, Alec Baldwin has been indicted on 2 charges of involuntary manslaughter, as prosecutors once again seek to hold the actor accountable for the on-set death of cinematographer Helene Hutchins. So Baldwin, 65, was initially charged in the case in January of 2023, but the charges were dropped 3 months later because Baldwin's defence team raised questions about whether his Colt 45 was functioning properly when it was fired, right? Hutchins, for those that don't know, Helene Hutchins, preparing to film a scene with Baldwin at a ranch near Santa Fe, New Mexico in October of 2021. The gun went off. Baldwin has maintained that he did not pull the trigger, although that's now, the FBI testing has said no, it would have had to have been, the trigger had to have been pulled. So if convicted, Baldwin faces up to 18 months in prison. Don't know if he'll serve anything, quite frankly. But here's a statement from Baldwin's attorneys today. We look forward to our day in court. And that was Luke Nickus and Alex Spiro. So 2 special prosecutors, Carrie Morrissey, Jason Lewis, sent the gun for further forensic testing last summer. Their experts, Lucian and Michael Haig, reconstructed the gun which had been broken during FBI testing. How did you break the gun? And concluded that it could only have been fired by a pull of the trigger. But that was also, I've got to kind of cast my mind back. It's been going on for 3 years now. 2.5. I swear that's what the FBI concluded at the same time. I swear it was. I could have sworn it was. But they say this. This fatal incident was the consequence of the hammer being manually retracted to its fully rearward and cocked position, followed at some point by the pull or rearward depression of the trigger, the report concluded. Although Alec Baldwin repeatedly denies pulling the trigger, given the tests, findings and observations reported here, the trigger had to be pulled or depressed sufficiently to release the fully cocked or retracted hammer of the evidence revolver. And this case got even weirder at one point where, the prosecutor on it, Alec Baldwin, wanted thrown off due to prejudice, bias that would affect, because they were Republican. So it would be biased towards him. But then surely, or biased against it, but then surely if you have a Democrat, it'd be biased towards you? It's ridiculous. Whole thing's a joke. So Morrissey and Lewis said in October that they intended to take the case to a grand jury within 2 months, stating that additional facts had come to light that pointed towards Baldwin's culpability. At the time, Nickus said the decision was unfortunate. It is unfortunate that terrible tragedy has been turned into this misguided prosecution. We will answer any charges in court. I mean, I think the thing is, people just want some justice, and his weird, tearful interview was odd. It was odd. It was quite unsettling to watch. So I think people just wanted a sense of some justice. Film's armourer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, is set to go on trial on February 21st on charges of involuntary manslaughter and tampering with evidence. Gutierrez-Reed mistakenly loaded a live bullet into Baldwin's gun, which was supposed to contain only dummies, and it remains unclear how live rounds became mixed in with dummy rounds on set. They're saying that it was another armourer who they got like a supplier who they got the guns from, the bullets from. Sorry. Hutchins' widower, Matthew Hutchins, filed a wrongful death lawsuit shortly after the shooting, but reached a settlement in October. The settlement provided for insurance funds and a portion of the film's profits to benefit the couple's son, who was 9 years old when his mother was killed. I mean, this is a film that's like never going to get made. Profits of a film, that was a bad decision. So the film has since been completed with additional filming in Montana and is awaiting distribution. Yeah, sure, like, it's finished, fine. But it's not going to get out there, is it? And I am genuinely surprised to hear that it is finished. I'd never even heard that before. They kept that quiet. So at the time of the settlement, Matthew Hutchins indicated he did not blame Baldwin for the shooting. I have no interest in engaging in recriminations or attribution of blame. All of us believe Helena's death was a terrible accident. Yeah, it was. But I also think people wanted someone... I don't know, I mean, of course it was an accident. I'm not saying Alec Baldwin meant to shoot her. I'm grateful that the producers and the entertainment community have come together to pay tribute to Helena's final work. I will say this, right, like, you know, I'm not saying Baldwin meant to shoot her, but what I am saying is Baldwin acted awful surrounding all of this. His behaviour was terrible. And I know loads of people will go, well, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. He acted fine. Yeah, that's just personal opinion. So a few months later, however, when Baldwin was first charged with manslaughter, Hutchins' attorney said the charges were warranted. So he kind of flipped. We support the charges. We fully cooperate with this prosecution and fervently hope the justice system works to protect the public and hold accountable those who break the law. Yeah, so Mary Carmack Altwees and Andrea Reeb held Baldwin responsible not only for pulling the trigger, but also for a series of management lapses, because he was basically, I mean, he was the manager on the set. But the New Mexico Division of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration concluded that Baldwin, though he was a producer on the film, was not in a position of management authority and was not culpable for the lack of oversight. Even though he's a producer on the film, he's the biggest star on the film, and people undoubtedly would have went to him as a managerial position anyway, because he was the sort of authority figure. Alright. David Halls pleaded no contest last March to misdemeanor gun charge, and he's given a 6 months unsupervised probation. This is interesting. This is interesting. We're gonna have to wait to see what happens with this. But indicted on 2 manslaughter charges, pretty big, pretty big. He could go down for this. Again, I don't think we're going to prison, but some nasty shit could happen. That's it. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.